it kind of clandestinely in the background, David.
Yep, just in
Oh,
case.
yeah, I see it right there. And even a rhyme next to below it. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yep, got to stay up to speed with David.
Absolutely.
Hey everybody, I'm David here with Extra Access TV, and I'm talking with the masterminds behind the remake of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Wade, Chuck, I'm so excited to talk to y'all today because I love the original, but I might like your version even more.
Wow. I
It's
thank you. That's heartwarming.
and as people of color to be able to see ourselves represented in general in mass media doesn't happen enough. So why do you think it was so important to remake a cult classic like this one, but through this lens?
I think it's just we don't exactly your point. We don't get to see ourselves represented very often and very, I would say, accurately. I feel like there's always there's a lot of extremes in our representation. So it's like I just want to tell a story about like how my family was, how friends of mine and their families. Like I wanted it to feel really natural and really real. And yeah, that was kind of the point of it. And also it occurred to us in very early in the process that like the original is kind of a comedy, but if it happens to black people, it's pretty scary. Like it's actually really like they kind of gloss over it there. We really wanted to shine a light on like, there are some disparities and out there and it affects people differently.
Yeah, I would speak to this idea of, remake fatigue, which I think is a real thing, right?
Mhm.
Like people are sort of like, dang, like, why do we as people of color, as Black folks, have to redo things in order to be able to be seen, But the truth is these are opportunities that are given to us on one end. And I think on the other end, this is a long history of things that we've done, right? As people of color, as Black folks, has taken things and taken spaces that haven't been offered to us and being able to flip them and remix them and being like, this is how we would do it and have it become something wholly original, And there is a lot of deep love in our movie for the original. When you see this, you'll see our sort of nods to it and our really devotion to it in a lot of ways. But of course, we wanted to make it for us and make it kind of specific to who we are. And so Chuck at the script phase did such a phenomenal job of that. And then, I was just trying to pick up the torch and keep it going.
Yeah, you talk about some of those standout moments that you pulled from the original, like uh, right on it, Rose. Like that's one of those lines that we all expected to hear and we
Right on top
did,
of that. Hmm.
right? Were there any other moments that you felt like you had to bring in, or were there moments that you were like, you know what, I really want to separate this film from the original and create this in a different light?
Yeah, I think the thing that most people when I told them we were working on this were like, well, you have to have the fashion show at the end, right? Like that was one of the things that I think the audience would have been a little disappointed to have missed. So that was one of it. And I just think the original was so well written. There's probably like 10 lines of dialogue that are taken directly from the original because it has such a fun voice. I won't cite them, I won't bore you, but like it excites me thinking about it even.
And
Yeah.
was it,
And I think, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, was it the original house?
That's
Yes.
right. It was the original house.
Good eye,
It
David.
was the original house. And I think that speaks to a lot of the sort of approach that we took, this kind of meta approach a little bit, right? Which is a different approach than other kind of reboots and remakes will do, where they try to distance themselves so much from what the original, which is understandable. But because this movie already is so kind of gonzo and strange and kooky, and that's what makes it so beloved, we wanted to still lean into that. I mean, even some of the filmic language that nods are there, in terms of how those kind of push zooms happen and like all those kind of stylistic things that we wanted to be able to have and then build upon, sort of say like I take this and I kind of raise you to sort of be able to show it even more.
It's one thing when you put pen to paper. It's another thing when the cast gets together and all the behind the scenes creatives get together. Were there any moments that came out of your work together as a cast and crew that you didn't expect that made it to the film that didn't maybe originally get plotted out for you?
It's funny, like I thought Chuck really just did such a phenomenal job with the script. And when these, the thing that you can't really know is what is the chemistry going to be between the actors that are going to inhabit these characters that have just lived on the page. And so, we had to cast this whole thing on Zoom. And so we never got to get the entire family together until we were there on day one, essentially.
Wow.
And so those are things that you can't know. You can't know what the chemistry is going to be like between Simone Joy-Jones and Nicole Richie, but when we got there, all I can say is that everybody fell fast in love with each other. And so that was a sort of relief, and I guess in some ways a surprise, that they were able to just inhabit their characters, and those characters and actors were able to love each other enough to sort of pop it through on the screen.
Yeah, I would add to that also that they both that all the kids had they understood my voice in a way that like I was really touched by. A lot of sometimes actors don't really get what you're going for, and they were buying everything we were selling, and they were making it better. And I want all of them to be such huge stars because it doesn't work without their brilliance.
Well, congratulations. You nailed it. They nailed it from the fashion to the one-liners. It was incredible. I watched it twice and I was laughing all the way through. I love it. And for those that are fans of the original, there's a great cameo. I won't spoil it. And then for those that may be learning this new, I think it's an incredible film to watch. There's a lesson there, but you also can have a great time. So congratulations, y'all.
Thank you very much.
David, thank you, really.
Thank
That
you.
means a lot.
Thank you.